Okay, my beautiful friends, sit back and relax because here we go again with this freaking freak show. Thursday, January 19th, 2023. So let's analyze this thing that we have going on here. It's too funny to me. So this morning, I don't know how many of you were watching Bloomberg. I was just watching Bloomberg, sitting back, taking in the accounts of what is apparently going on right now. So one of their commentators, Michael McKee, seems like a nice enough guy. They're the guy they float out here to talk about economic news. Well, he let us in on a pretty big secret this morning, kind of echoing Goldman Sachs with regard to the data. So coming across the screen this morning is the first time jobless claims for last week, and he was aghast, literally as if he had seen a ghost or something. He questioned himself on freaking national television here, international television, whether or not the data is accurate. I mean, people, look, you want another clue, like you even need it, that the data is all fake? Well, here's another example of that. So this jobless claims number came in much better than expected in the face of thousands and thousands and thousands of people that are being laid off. It's not real. None of it is real. We got housing starts this morning coming in apparently better than expected. Look, you can't believe any of this stuff here. What we do know, and here's a nice piece of information for you. The Federal Reserve Manufacturing Index. Okay, well, guess what? It indicates, it's pointing towards that manufacturing factory activity continues to contract. No secret to anyone who follows this blog. We just covered this recently. As a matter of fact, they're calling this a factory or a manufacturing recession. Duh. Okay, you see, look, the big secret that they're not letting people know about is, yes, something you and I have known for I don't know how long now. The global economy is shrinking. It's contracting at its fastest pace in history. And, they're not telling people the fact that this is exactly what these freaking central banks are determined to do. Kill the economy. Kill the consumer. So they can fulfill their end game to be the lenders and buyers of last resort, own the world, take this freaking thing over. They already are the government of the world. You all know this. Anyway, that's where we stand this morning. So on the back of yesterday's comment from Fed President Bullard, I'm still really screwed up about that. There's no way, again, I'm just going to touch on this one more time, that the man did not make money here. Having some entities out here short the market, knowing full well that his comment was going to drive stocks lower. And we're seeing some of that this morning as well. Stock futures are lower across the board. Nothing major. If you are a subscriber to my free newsletter, I hope you are, okay? Link in the description of this video. I send out all little kinds of tidbits of information here and there. I put up a 3-month chart of the S&P 500, which clearly demonstrates that we are due, I hate to say the word due, but it looks like a pullback here is going to happen. And that's because we've had an incredible run-up. The run-up in this market has been, frankly, almost ridiculous over the last several weeks. So we need this market to give back a little bit. I think it would be bullish in this kind of a situation here. And if you do subscribe to my free newsletter and have not checked your inbox, go look at it. The chart is right there. An explanation of what is going on is right there. Got a lot of comments on that. Again, you have to subscribe to my free newsletter if you want to get the most out of my work here. It'll keep you more in the know as to what is actually happening. All right, so with that said, we heard from the ghoul yesterday as well, who said, the Federal Reserve's policy is working. Yeah, it actually is, and we can't deny this. Central banks are doing exactly what they promised that they would do. That is contract the global economy. And we heard again this morning from one of the commentators on Bloomberg how in order for inflation to drop, people have to lose their jobs. Imagine that. Imagine, really, why don't we start off, whatever freak says that, starting with Fed President Daly, who was the first one to say people need to lose their jobs. Why don't we start off with these people? Why do they get to keep their jobs? And they're hoping, obviously, that other people lose their jobs in this environment. People can't make ends meet as it is. It's a terrible situation here. Again, what do we know is going on? Personal debt, household debt, consumer debt off the Richter scale, credit card debt, ballooning, loan defaults out of control, putting a lot of pressure here on banks. Banks are in trouble. You know that, or should I say, you're in trouble, and you know that too. Savings rate deeply in the negative, and it's just not going to stop here. But again, you're going to get those who are going to try to convince you that what we're seeing here is not actually going on, and I think it's pretty deceptive. But what else would you expect here in this kind of an environment here? Along with hundreds of billions of dollars that are missing from the Pentagon, and who knows what else is. Look, I mean, look at the mechanism here. You all know this. Unaccountable funds. This is part of the game too, and this is all stuff that if you were allowed to see the Federal Reserve's secondary balance sheet. You know, the Fed has two balance sheets. They have the public one that everyone's allowed to see. And then they have their off-balance sheet or second balance sheet, where all the missing cash is going to be found, where it's being funneled to. Look, it's no secret here, and this is, at least I hope not. The Federal Reserve, for years and years and decades, has been funneling dollars. Think about what I'm about to tell you here. The Federal Reserve has been sending pallets of dollars or adding digits to a screen to central banks around the world who are buying assets with U.S. dollars, not even their own currency. The Federal Reserve, being that, still they are in control of the world reserve currency, are literally in a mission to dollarize the world. And this whole business here, I want to touch on this real quick because I got a lot of comments about this, with Saudi Arabia saying that, okay, we are willing to discuss conducting transactions with regard to crude oil outside of the U.S. dollar. Ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. All this is the Saudis wanting something from the United States, whether it's weapons, who knows, pallets of gold. I personally think the Saudis want U.S. gold. They want whatever gold is left in the vaults of wherever they keep this stuff here. I don't think there's anything there anyway. I think it's been drained from a long time ago. But that's my bet here. My bet is the Saudis want U.S. gold. And they're going to get whatever they want here. Again, to maintain the U.S. dollar as the world reserve currency, well, this deal was entered into by OPEC and the United States government, actually the Federal Reserve, to price crude oil in gold. In other words, to establish the petrodollar here. Any nation that wants to buy crude oil has to convert their currency into U.S. dollars. And this mechanism creates an ever-increasing demand for U.S. dollars here. This is the only reason at all, period, the end, why the U.S. dollar has maintained its reserve status. If, in fact, the Saudis would have followed through on their whatever they're trying to pull off here right now to sidestep the dollar, it would lead to a global war. There's just no doubt about it, because the Fed is never going to give up that power, and they will kill, maim, slaughter, and destroy lives around this world to maintain that status here. Again, the enforcement arm of the Federal Reserve happens to be, because of the petrodollar, the United States military, its full, complete arsenal, including its nuclear capability here. And they will point that war machine, inward at its citizens, you and I included, or outside. You understand? So that's my best guess here, and I would love to hear from you. What do the Saudis want? I think it's gold. I think the Saudis want gold. They understand the situation that we're in right now, ballooning debt, this unsustainable situation here. It's not going to stop. And cash is just going to move, people. Once we get this meltdown in the debt market, which is going to happen at one point, look at the 10-year yield today. It's not doing anything too much. U.S. dollar relative strength slightly lower this morning. MMRI like 214. That's, we're still in a high-risk environment here, okay? But I still believe, sincerely, that we're going to see the MMRI drop below 200. And if they can maintain that illusion, the market's going higher. We are due for a pullback here. Looks like it may have started. I think it's bullish in this environment. Nothing else matters. Central banks are buying it all. They're not going to stop. Anyway, with regard to the Saudi issue here, I want to hear from you. What do you think the Saudis actually want? Because this is not what it seems to be. They want something from the United States. Okay, maybe they want weaponry as well, but they want gold. Period. That's just my opinion, and I want to hear yours too. All right, look, this guy here loves you a lot. I will see you later in the day as usual, and well, please share the video, and I want to hear from you, as I said.